You're listening to The Dangerous Mind of Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov. No excuses, no BS, no pants.
So let's take a listen to the differences between a modified microphone and the same microphone before the mod. Before and after, let's check it out. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Microphone Playboy podcast. What you're listening to right now is the modified M Audio Nova microphone that I had on the channel a few months ago. And actually in the short that I had left with a comparison between the modded and unmodded M Audio Nova, Alexander Jenkins over at Pro Audio IQ asked me to help him hear what I'm hearing in the modified version. So I figured we'd do a deeper dive to check it out. So what you're listening to right now is the modded M Audio Nova mic with no EQ on it, just an 80 Hz high-pass filter. And I'll tell you more about this mod in a second, but let's switch over to the completely unmodded stock version of the M Audio Nova. So this is the unmodded M Audio Nova, completely stock, and it's identical to the one that I modded. Right away, I think you can hear some differences, but let's go over them. Let's discuss what these differences are. Now, in its unmodded form, the Nova is it's a budget-friendly entry-level condenser. And, you can pick these things up now used for between, I think, $50 and $100. It's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. But it does have the limitations that are common in low-end condensers. So let's break down what we're hearing right now. Now, first of all, the strengths of the stock M Audio Nova, right? It's very affordable. It's very affordable, and it's not bad for $50. Not bad. Decently clear sound. Mid-range seems to work. Mid-range seems to pop a little bit. So I think, yes, you could use this for voiceover, for vocals. And it's a pretty solid build. As far as donor mics go, as far as inexpensive mics goes, it's pretty sturdy. Now, and those are the strengths. So what are the weaknesses? The highs, a little bit too harsh, a little harshness in the highs. But this is common in budget condensers. You have to remember that budget condensers are cheap for a reason, and a lot of that is, unfortunately, the choices made in manufacturing. The choices made in components, sometimes those choices are not optimal for the tonal range of the mic. Sometimes they like to err on the side of exaggerating higher frequencies. And that's just, the way it goes. It's just, that's the way it is. And there's a perceived lack of warmth compared to the modded version. It doesn't have the warmth. It doesn't have the depth in the low and mids. So it does sound thinner. It does sound thinner. And again, this could be a sound that works for you. And, let's not forget, we'll talk about the capsule a little bit more, but the capsule inside the M Audio Nova is not a terrible capsule. It's not a terrible capsule at all. As a matter of fact, the same capsule in this mic is used in a much more expensive mic, but we'll get to that in a moment. What else? I think that overall you could not really use the Nova on a loud source. I don't think you could put this in front of a guitar cabinet. Because I think it would really grind the gears here. I think it would totally distort. Look, it's decent, it's limited, it works as an entry-level mic. Oh, and I should also add that the unmodded mic requires, 6.5 more dB of gain to get to the same signal level as the modded mic. So I think overall you're probably going to see a better noise floor, a lower noise floor on the modded mic than on the unmodded Nova. Let's go to the modded mic. All right, here we are back on the modded Nova. Big difference. I think you can definitely tell a big difference. What do we have here? Okay, so inside this modded Nova, I have a brand new capsule and a brand new circuit. So it's really just the only thing that remains is the body of the mic, the donor body of the mic. So the circuit that I used in this is the microphone Parts T84-55 circuit, which is actually designed it to drop right into this mic. There are a number of other mics, basically some Sterling mics that the T84-55 was configured to fit into. One of them is the Nova. So, worked out pretty well. What I like about this, all right, so the stock circuit in the Nova has a little bit of a harsher, more brittle. I would say it's a brittle high. Underwhelming mid-range, so it makes the sound thinner than it really should be. So the T84-55, you can really hear it smoothing out the highs, and it's definitely a more balanced, more of a natural tonal response. The microphone sounds warmer, it sounds fuller, better mid-range presence, and less harshness. And I mean, I think that's important. I think that really, overall, it has a more professional, finished sound than the stock Nova. Definitely, like I said, because you're using less gain. I think it's going to be a quieter microphone overall. You're going to reduce the noise floor, and that's important for voiceover work. A lot of times you need to have a quieter mic. A lot of lesser mics are a little too noisy, unless you really know what to do with that noise. And that's a tough thing, because you have to use some kind of noise reduction, or you have to really dial in your expander and gate. So a quieter mic is definitely going to give you less issues, especially when you're recording. I would say improved components overall in the T84-55 circuit. Because they sell you the circuit with all the components. Right, Microphone Parts does, and Microphone Parts is great. With these kits are great. So they're all premium level components, high quality capacitors, high quality FET. So you're going to improve the fidelity, and not just that, but overall you'll probably end up with a microphone that gives you fewer issues, more durability. So I mean, if that's what you're looking for, hey. There's a solution for you. If you want a more durable microphone, get something that's built better, or make something that's built better. I think we're definitely seeing a more wider frequency response. So the mic now has more depth to it. The lows have more body, and there's that warmth in it that you don't get with this stock sound. Overall, again, I think it sounds more natural. I think it sounds closer to what the source than the stock one. Okay. I think it's more versatile. Overall, a modded M-Audio Nova like this compared to the regular stock Nova, I think this is a more versatile microphone. I think it's more suitable for a wider range of sources, and not just vocals and voiceover. I think that, you're talking about if you record music, acoustic instruments. I think improved tonal balance and clarity allows you to get a more professional sound without sounding cheap. And that, who wants to sound? You don't want to sound cheap when you're recording, unless that's your vibe. That's a whole different vibe, right? That lo-fi trashy vibe. Hey, if you're into that, you're into that. That's cool. But this is not for that. Let's see. I think overall, right? If you had these two mics side by side, you would see that the modded one, smoother high-end, fuller mid-range, better dynamic range, more extended frequency response, more versatile. So I think it elevates the Nova into a much higher class of microphone. And so the cost of this mod, the circuit alone was what, $200, $225, about there, $229. So figure maybe with shipping tax like $250. So, but let's talk about the capsule. And the capsule that's replacing the stock capsule is a 3U Audio Flat K87, which I ordered directly from 3U Audio. And it pairs very well with this circuit. And it gives it a very U87-ish sound. Let's pop back to the unmodded mic real quick. So here we are back on the unmodded M-Audio Nova, and I think that overall the differences are huge. But again, this is not terrible. For $50, if you can get this thing for $50, I think I got this one for 30. If you can get it for $50 off eBay, not terrible at all, right? And again, the capsule in this. So the capsule, the 32 millimeter Filio capsule. The Filio is the Chinese manufacturer who makes this capsule. This is the same capsule that is in the Manley reference cardioid microphone. At least that is the pervasive rumor from those who know. So you're talking about a $3,000 microphone that uses this same base level capsule. And they use it because it's not a bad capsule. Now, it's not up to par of a Neumann capsule or the 3U capsule. But again, it's not bad. It's not terrible. But, if you want something better, let's go back to the modded version. So let's wrap up with the modded M Audio Nova. And I mean, overall, I don't think there's much comparison between the two. Now, the overall cost of the mod, the mic, like I said, I think the mic cost me like $30 off eBay, but I think you can get them now for between $50 and $100. But really, again, if you're doing this mod, all you want is the body. So, as long as the body's in good shape, you can get a cheaper one. The capsule, you can use the capsule. You can reuse the capsule if you want. You can use the capsule in this mod if you want. But with the T84-55 circuit, you're gonna get more high-end frequency boost with that the stock capsule, because the T84-55 does not have the high-end de-emphasis built into the circuitry. It's built for a flatter style capsule, like a K87 or a C12 style capsule. So overall, right, so $250 for the circuit, about $100 and change with shipping for the capsule. So let's just say the whole mod will run you $400 plus the cost of the mic. So if you can get the mic and everything all together, under $500. And I think absolutely this sounds like a microphone that could go toe to toe with mics in the $1,000 range. So I think this is a really good example of where modding a microphone can get you really good value. The M Audio Nova body is really sturdy. It's great, but it also has a really well-shaped head basket. So it helps you get a little bit more of that mid-range boost, a little mid-range pop in there. So truthfully, this is less of a mod than it is a complete rebuild, using the shell of the M Audio Nova to, get something that I feel it's much better than what I started with. There's a lot of low end in this mod. If I was using this for stuff, I would probably EQ a lot more of that low end out. But there's a lot of good stuff going on in the mid-range. I like it. So what do you think? I wanted to really get into it a little bit more. The differences between the original and the stock, because again, that's short, especially through a phone speaker. It may have been difficult to really read the sonic differences, really the distance between those two mics. But I think here we can really tell. So what do you think? What do you think? I mean, the stock one, not terrible. There are a lot of worse mics out there, for sure. But again, I need to know what you're thinking. So you know what to do. Leave that comment. Let me know. All right? Until next time, this is Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov, fading to black.